Hi, and thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about the Ayurvedic disease process. In the Ayurvedic disease process, there are 6 steps. Typically, in Western medicine, we aren't able to diagnose a disease until it's pathological. In the Ayurvedic system, we can identify disease much earlier, and we can even reverse it. Once we get past a certain point, though, there's nothing Ayurveda can do, which is why it's important to understand both Ayurveda and allopathic medicine so that you can advise your clients as to when they need to seek additional support and help. Let's go through the Ayurvedic disease process from step 1 to step 6. The first step is accumulation. From an Ayurvedic perspective, the body is broken up into dhatus, or tissues. Each tissue is governed by a particular dosha. And so there are many different dhatus, and when a dhatu starts to accumulate excess of its respective dosha, the initial phase of the disease process has started. Accumulation is an excess of the dosha in the dhatu itself. Accumulation is the first step in the disease process. The second step in the disease process is aggravation. This occurs when the dosha moves out of its seat. The third step in the process is called dissemination. When we are at the third stage in the disease process, the dosha begins to move around the body. It might move into a dhatu governed by vata, or it might move into a dhatu governed by kapha. But it moves around the body, and as it moves, it disrupts the other tissues. The fourth stage in the Ayurvedic disease process is called localization. In this stage, the dosha has moved out of its dhatu seat through the body and has now decided to localize in a seat outside of its origin. And this causes imbalance in the seat that it has taken up space in. In the fifth stage of the disease process, we see manifestation. In this stage of the disease process, the disease is pathological, and this is sort of the place of no return from an Ayurvedic perspective. Once we have gotten to the stage of manifestation, Ayurveda on its own cannot reverse the disease process. At this point, we need allopathic intervention. The sixth stage of the disease process is disruption. At this stage in the process, the dosha has moved from its original seat and localized in a particular area of the body. It has now manifested and is disrupting the tissues. Now we see the dis-ease in full manifestation. At this point, Ayurveda can be a palliative or complementary mode of therapy, but it is not the go-to. At this point, we need Western intervention. The disease process is both complex and simple at the same time. It evaluates the dhatus and their doshic properties and says that when the doshic property moves outside of its seat, it initiates the disease process. This causes a manifestation of disease that can further impact the organism. Remember that this information is for your own awareness, to help you in your practice, and is not meant to be shared with students or clients as a prescriptive or diagnostic tool. This is really to help inform your relationship with your body, your mind, and your practice of Ayurveda.